Hello, welcome back. Hondo's Blockbuster here with another movie ranking, and we are talking the MCU. We will be ranking all 15 post-Endgame MCU releases, theatrical releases, not any of the specials, no shows, nothing, just the movies released in theaters. Now Fantastic Four is out, so that will obviously be included. We're also working on a massive MCU full ranking, everything tier list, bringing in multiple people. It's going to be a big video, but for now, we will keep it just to the post-Endgame movies. So with that, don't want to take any more time with an intro. If you're new here, would appreciate a like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Let's get to this list. All right, coming in at last place, the Marvels. So, post-Endgame MCU is definitely a very interesting place filled with a lot of high highs, like some of the highest highs, and some very low lows. And the bottom of this list is pretty low on my overall ranking. But the Marvels not only sits dead last here, unfortunately, it absolutely sits dead last in the entire rankings for me. This was a movie that... this movie was obviously made by committee. I mean, the director has even come out and said, the movie that she filmed was not the movie that was released. This seemed like a absolutely troubled production, and you can tell. And then just the movie in general, it's probably, outside of being the worst MCU movie, one of the reasons it's the worst, it is the most forgettable film. I really don't remember a single thing from this movie outside of the whole dance sequence thing, musical, island, planet, whatever, terrible, and how bad Nick Fury was, honestly. There's three main leads in this, Captain Marvel, Photon, and Miss Marvel, and honestly, the only bright spot in it all is Iman Vellani. I think Iman Vellani is probably the only one that seems like she actually wants to be there. She at least brings that level of excitement to the role. And obviously she's a huge fan of the MCU, so it makes sense. But Brie Larson is one that is very interesting to me. She's an incredible actress, Oscar winner. She was just literally in the last season of The Bear, very good. But she just seems like she doesn't want to be here ever when she's doing Captain Marvel. It just doesn't seem like it's up. She wants to even. She's collecting her paycheck and leaving. So I don't know. She just doesn't do it to me as Captain Marvel. And this movie just is so forgettable. It's so there's nothing to it for me. And so it's one that I don't think I'll ever watch again, even on my rewatch. Before I go to the next one, the thing for me, the most egregious thing of this movie is actually Nick Fury. This is coming off the heels of Secret Invasion, which is just as bad as this for a completely different reason. But Nick Fury in that show, of where we leave him off to where he gets in this movie, is so far away. It actually heats me up because it takes me out of the movie because he goes from this series. Obviously, it's Nick Fury, but he loses Maria Hill and he loses his Skrull best friend Ben Mendelsohn. He's leaving the planet. It's a terrible spot. And then he's in this movie. And he's like a clown. I mean, this movie stinks. All right, on to the next one. At number 14, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Opposite of the Marvels, I had much higher expectations for this movie. I liked everything that they showed, whether it was the trailers and just all the marketing. And plus, Ant-Man is a fun character that's had very fun movies. And this movie stinks. I hate this movie. I honestly, catch me on the wrong day, this might be the worst one out of all of them for me. It's also the movie that's supposed to introduce the big bad Kang before all this whole Doomsday stuff where Doom is taking over. Kang was supposed to lead the way, and you're introducing him in this movie. It's okay, what do we got here? And he gets defeated by Ant-Man and the crew. I mean, this is the big bad. The Avengers are going to mop this guy in 2 seconds. And that's outside of everything that Jonathan Majors has done and whatever, or accused, who knows. But that's the original plan, was for this guy to be the big bad. And then on top of that, just the movie just stinks. I mean, the thing what makes the Ant-Man movies so fun and unique is one, the scale of the story, right? For lack of a better term or lack of a better pun, there are smaller stories, and they work like that. You take Ant-Man, he's obviously, the family aspect is there, but it's also his crew, his friends, Lewis and T.I. and whatever. But once you take them out of there and you put them in this massive science fiction, which before I was like, oh, this could be cool. But then as the movie goes on, it's like this movie stinks. Like I couldn't get over how bad this movie was. Insultingly bad. It had a couple cool sequences. I guess it has a couple more memorable things than the Marvels. But in terms of disappointment, this is right up there with the most disappointing movie for me, and just sad. This movie just like, ugh. Next. All right, at number 13 comes the Eternals. Before I say my negatives on the Eternals, I will give the Eternals credits on two things. One, for trying something completely different. I will always respect that, even if it's something that didn't work for me personally. They at least went for something new. And in terms of how this movie looks, this movie is absolutely gorgeous. This movie is probably the most well shot, some of the best cinematography in the MCU. With that being said, the reason why it's so low on my list is for a couple reasons. One of them being that one of the biggest flaws of this movie is that it's just really not fun. Like I don't have fun watching this movie. And there's a couple reasons why. One of them, none of the characters are really likable. There's no one to root for. I found myself not caring for a single one of the Eternals, which is a problem when the whole movie is based on this quote-unquote supposed to be family type aesthetic where it's 8 different people, and if you can't connect to one of the 8, then we already have a problem. And then the coolest one, Icarus, the only one I kind of even knew going into it, ended up being the bad guy. So yeah, it shoots high, but for me it just didn't stick the landing. And for a while it was, I really like when I first left this movie, I was like, wow, I was like, this was boring and whatever. Honestly, as some of the other ones have come out, like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and the Marvels, I'm like, at least this one tried to do something. So I give it 2 spots ahead at least. All right, at number 12, talk about disappointment with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This one is just as equally disappointing and probably just as infuriating to most, and that is Thor: Love and Thunder. I think I wouldn't argue if anyone put this last on their list. This movie, it triggers people in the wrong way, in the sense of it's so stupid and it takes itself so not serious. For a character like Thor, who has been here with us from the beginning, he is one of the core 6 Avengers, and he's the first one getting his 4th movie. And it's coming off of director Taika Waititi's, in my opinion, fantastic Thor 3 movie, his fantastic Oscar win for Jojo Rabbit, and like, this guy can do no wrong. So we thought. This movie is what happens when you let, the director and creator just like, all right, here you go, you've proved us, you've been good, here you go, you can go all out. And this is when the ego gets to your head, because this guy, what Taika Waititi did with this movie is so ridiculous and outlandish. It's actually insulting. And I get why people have this as their last on their list. I mean, you have Thor 4, and you're bringing back Christian Bale to be the villain. It's like one of the best actors of my generation. Like this, and it's Taika Waititi who's on a roll right now. And then that's what you get. And not only that, like Taika Waititi on the whole press tour just turned out to be like an egotistical maniac and like trashing people who worked on the team. It was very insane. So the only reason I have it ranked a little higher than the others, and honestly, again, like if you catch me on any other day, this could be last. Like I don't fault anyone who puts this last on their list. It's just for me, and again, I just was dogging on Taika Waititi. His humor, as stupid as it is, and as much as it doesn't fit in this movie, it does get to me. Like some of them really do crack me up. Like the bit with Thor and his hammer and Stormbreaker, like kind of in a weird relationship and like being jealous and stuff. It's so stupid that it's funny to me. And if this was just a satire of the genre, like, this would be a great movie. I would love this movie. But the fact that it's a actual real MCU movie, I can't give it the pass on that. It's one of the worst MCU movies of all time. So, yeah. All right, coming in at number 11, there's a pretty decent sized mini gap between 11 or 12 and 11, or really the last 4. The last 4, honestly, you can interchange them. And they can, honestly, any other day, they can be last or not. This one's pretty solid at number 11. It's not, I don't find it to be that good. I also don't find it to be as offensively bad as the other 4, and that is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This was one that I can still watch. It has very enjoyable elements to it. Wanda is great, although she's one of the biggest problems in this movie in terms of how they did her dirty. But she's always good. Doctor Strange's a great character. And there's some really cool like scenes in this, like when Wanda attacks the Sanctum Sanctorum and I mean, even the Illuminati stuff to an extent, and there's some cool elements for sure. That's why it's better than the other ones. Just for me, it went wrong in two places. One, the marketing of this movie was atrocious. You're pitching, and first of all, your name is Multiverse of Madness, and the way that they promoted this movie was basically, this is going to be crazy. There's going to be so many worlds and so many characters popping up. And then they spoiled pretty much all the cameos in the trailer, so it's like, oh, that can't just be it. You know what I mean? There's got to be some crazy ones. And like, no, like it was John Krasinski's Reed Richards, which is super weird. But yeah, it's just, in terms of just marketed poorly, I had my expectations really high, not just for like the cameos or anything that I don't really care about. It's more of just I was expecting to go to so many different worlds and see different expanded like universes and aesthetics, and it's really just one like sequence, and then you're stuck on these two worlds the entire time. It's whatever. It's not the worst. It's not very good. I don't really like rewatching this one, but it is what it is. It's all, and also the ending contradicts itself. 2 minutes later, post-credit scene literally undoes the ending of the movie. So it's just, I don't know. And Sam Raimi, I obviously I love the Sam Raimi movies. I don't think he's a director I'm really too big of a fan of in terms of, I'm not a horror guy. A lot of people like his like horror stuff, and a lot of that is in this movie. Just didn't do it for me. And the writers just, and Elizabeth Olsen will say it herself, the writers just like basically didn't watch WandaVision. So like Wanda in this movie is really weirdly like included. Like, it's cool that she's in it, but like some of the things they have her do, they revert back to basically some of the things that she basically overcame in WandaVision. So kind of strange, lack of a better term, pun. But yeah, coming at number 11. All right, just like I said, 12 to 11, pretty decent jump. 11 to 10 is pretty decent jump. 10 and up for me are positive movies, whether it's a 3-star or up. They're all positives. Anything, the last 5, all negative. But yeah, I'm going to go at number 10. One that I think that gets a little bit more flack than it should, and that is Captain America: New World Order. For what people say about this movie, you'd think it's as bad as Thor: Love and Thunder or the Marvels. It's really not. Like, it's not bad at all. Granted, it's not very good either. It's not like, oh yeah, you gotta go see this movie. It's not very good, but it's so average that it's not offensive, and it's better than I thought it was going to be. So maybe that's what it is. My expectations were so low for this movie that when I walked out, I was like, okay, that movie wasn't that bad. I just enjoyed it more. I don't know, but it has a few good things going for it. Sam Wilson, I've always been a fan of his. Falcon, I like what he does in this movie as well. I love the inclusion of Harrison Ford and finally getting to see a Rage Hulk again. And there's some really cool sequences, especially the one around the Eternal or the Celestial. I thought that whole sequence was really cool. So there's like a lot of good things in it. It's in terms of movie that are completely scraped together. It feels like 2 different movies and possibly even 3 by the way that it's edited and cut together. It really does. Like, they did, in my opinion, a terrible job in trying to like seal those holes. But overall, it's not that bad. I enjoy this one. It's not as bad as people say, but again, it's not anything great or anything. It's a pretty flat 3-star or something. So yeah. Coming in at number 9, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This was one that, talk about a movie dealt very bad cards, obviously, with the loss of the late, great Chadwick Boseman, who was playing Black Panther. Obviously, this was going to be the sequel to the Oscar-nominated Black Panther movie, where Chadwick Boseman is an incredible actor, and he just fits his role so perfectly. He's such a good guy, and obviously his passing was so tragic. So, like, the creative team had to essentially, this was happening right before the movie started, so they had to reshuffle everything. So the fact that the movie was as good as it was is very impressive. And on top of the fact, like, it's not only they just lost an actor, like, these are people who lost a friend and someone not only they work with, but, like, are friends with. And so having to make this, like, a tribute to him and about loss and passing, I thought it really did a great job. There's a few things why I have it a bit lower on my list. But again, like this is honestly, there's a little bit of a jump again. There's jumps here and there, but there's a few things I'm not a huge fan of. But overall, like I'm a bit fan of Shuri. So Shuri taking up the mantle, I was totally cool with. I love the supporting cast from Black Panther, and they're all in here. But Angela Bassett delivers a Oscar-nominated performance. She's great. Like it's one that it's very good, but it tugs at the heartstrings because of a real life tragedy. So it's one of those that's a little bit harder to go back and like rewatch because it's a bit more of a somber tone. But there's a lot of really good things in here. It's just like, yeah, it's hard to get through. And some of the things, I wasn't a huge fan of Ironheart in this movie. Yeah, I felt like they just tried to juggle way too many different concepts in this movie instead of focusing on just the like essentially the Wakanda and Atlantis. I think it's Atlantis conflict. So, yeah, it's a good movie still. I have it at number 9, but yeah, bad hands dealt. All right, coming in at number 8, we got Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. Talk about, honestly, one of my favorite action, I guess, the best choreographed action scenes in the MCU are probably in this movie. Between the side of the building fight and the bus fight, two amazing actions. And just like really in general, the first 2/3 of this movie are really good. I like the character of Shang-Chi. I like the character honestly, it's probably one of the better villains in his father, the real Mandarin. That was cool. So Shang-Chi, I really enjoyed. It's just that last third that holds it back for me. Again, I liked more of the hand-to-hand action. That's my favorite type of action. It's not just martial arts, but like what Captain America Winter Soldier and why Captain America films are my favorite. He uses his hands. I love that the martial arts elements in this. I just wish they stuck to that in the finale. Obviously, they go a bit more bigger CGI dragon. I didn't really like the inclusion of Trevor in this movie. So the last third really kind of dampers it a bit, but the first 2/3 are so good that I'm rocking it at number 8. All right, coming in at number 7, Black Widow. Black Widow is, in my opinion, the most underrated in this bunch. It catches a lot of flack. Not that I don't know why. I get why people complain about this movie. I personally don't have many problems with this, as many people do. Yes, I do have my problems with it. I don't like the Taskmaster reveal, and there's some shoddy CGI elements, and it goes a little bit to the max in the third, similar to kind of the Shang-Chi route. It's kind of just a big Marvel problem in general, but the first 2/3 and even the third act, I didn't hate everything in it. I thought this is really good. Scarlett Johansson finally gets her time to shine. We're introduced to some really cool, amazing characters. 2 of them you'll hear more about later on this list, but Yelena Belova is one of the coolest characters to come out of post-Endgame era. I think she's awesome. Florence Pugh's awesome. And then Red Guardian is an absolute blast. So just them alone, but also like this movie, yes, I get it. It should have been released 5 years before. It feels a little bit out of place, which I totally get that. But like if you just watch this movie as a Phase 3 movie, it fits perfectly. Like you won't even that problem just is fixed because you could just watch it before Infinity War. Like there's no because I get it. Everyone knows where Natasha, at this point, she's dead when this movie came out, which was a ridiculous time to drop this movie. But, you can just rewatch it and earlier order, and it's much better. So, I don't know. I like this movie. I thought the action in this movie is great. So, it was good to see Black Widow finally get her time to shine. So, I'm giving that number 7. All right, at number 6, we've got the latest release from the MCU, the Fantastic Four First Steps. One that is aesthetically beautiful. I thought they got the cast perfect, and it has a lot of really cool things in it. With that being said, it is good, not great. That's why I have it probably a bit lower than I would assume a lot of people, because a lot of people are really loving this, and I love that. But for me, I liked it a lot. I just didn't love it. I would have loved a bit more with Galactus. The movie feels like it's missing about 20 minutes. It really bothers me. It needed to be I don't get the short runtime thing. That Marvel honestly has been trying to do for like the post-Endgame era. Not a fan. I think they cut out too many things. Would have liked more, fleshed out a bit more, but overall, still a good movie, and it deserves to be at the 6th spot, in my opinion. 5. Before I go top 5, Feel free to leave your list in the comments. Would love to hear what you guys are thinking, where you guys rank these movies. This is not the correct list. This is just my list. So let me know where your list lies. But let's go. Number 5, we got Spider-Man Far From Home. This movie, in terms of plot, not great. It's got a lot of holes that you can poke at. It's like, why did Tony Stark leave these to Peter Parker? It makes no sense, really. And then even Mysterio's plan is kind of shaky. Of like, okay, after this, like, you make it to the Avengers, then what? Things like that. But talk about an absolute blast. I mean, it's one. It was cool to see Spider-Man leaving a different element. As much as I want him to be in New York, and I want to go back to that eventually. I don't know. Putting him in Europe was a nice, like, kind of flip on it. And then 2, everything that they did with Mysterio, outside of obviously his plan being a bit shoddy, I thought all his fight scenes were great. It was well done. It was how they tied it into the MCU was really well done. And all of them, from the middle fight scene that he has to the finale. I thought the finale is one of my favorite Spider-Man finales ever. That's how good it was. So, yes, it's got its flaws. Not perfect. Not my favorite Spider-Man movie, but an absolute blast to watch, and have no problem rewatching this one every time. All right, coming in at number 4, we got Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool Wolverine, just an absolute crowd pleaser, an absolute, honestly, love letter to the Fox universe. This one is, every single time, it gets me every time. I don't care. Usually, like, the Deadpool movies, sometimes, like, the humor is so timely, it'll start fading. I mean, I'm only a year away, I guess, but this, every time I rewatch this one, I get more of a kick out of it each time. And of course, how can I mention this movie without mentioning the return of Hugh Jackman, who is just chef's kiss, amazing, back as Wolverine. So honestly, there's not too many flaws. I love this movie. I thought the action was great. The bringing back certain characters was amazing. It was just a fun time of the theater. And yeah, it's another one of those, like, there's a few event movies, and this is one of them. There's another one on this list that we'll get to in a little bit. This is definitely one of them, and one that I honestly love going back to. Coming in at number 3, we got the Thunderbolts, or the New Avengers. This is the most shocking one on my list going in. I was excited for this movie. I liked the premise. I liked the characters. It seemed more of that old school, like I mentioned, hand-to-hand, gritty type action. But I did not expect it to be one of my favorites, not only post-Endgame. This is one of my favorites entire MCU. This is in my top 10 MCU movies in general. So the impact that it had, the characters are so good. I mean, like I mentioned, Yelena's amazing. She's one of my favorite characters post-Endgame, really. Bucky, again, also one of them. U.S. Agent is great. Red Guardian, they're all really good. Even like a character like Ghost, who I thought I would never care to see again. I'm cool with seeing more Ghosts. That's what this movie did. And then, of course, it also introduces us to the Sentry, which is just going to be an awesome character to really dive into, because he's like an all-powerful, but he's got that dark side to him. So how they're going to use him going forward. But I don't know, man. This movie, I love this movie. I love Thunderbolts. It's my favorite superhero movie of the summer, and the summer that came out with Superman and Fantastic Four. So Thunderbolts at the 3 spot. Coming in at number 2, like I mentioned earlier, big event films, this movie probably ranks in the top 3 of all time, and that is Spider-Man No Way Home. This movie, yes, you can, again, it's similar to Far From Home in a sense of you can probably pick apart some of the plot lines. It's not as creative or as boundary pushing as some of the other ones. But in terms of entertainment and fun and just an overall good time at the movies, would probably be number 1 in terms of just theater experience alone. Obviously, what they did with bringing back Toby and Andrew, and not just making them cameos, making them a part of the movie, similar to what Deadpool Wolverine did with some of the Fox universe, they did with the Spider-Man. And that finale is just worth the price of admission alone. William Dafoe is incredible. Alfred Molina is incredible. Everyone gets their time to shine and come back to the franchise. And this is a perfect example of fan service done right. And again, no matter how many times I watch it, I enjoy it every time. This movie is easily number 2. But with that, there is only one movie left. And yes, the best movie post-Endgame is one of the best movies of the entire MCU. And that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I mean, James Gunn is, again, somebody I trust with my whole heart when it comes to comic book superhero movies. The Guardians are such an amazing team, and just the whole cast of characters that are in this movie, they they let it all out, man. James Gunn went all out with this one. The story, obviously, focusing big on Rocket, and diving into his backstory. But the story itself, it's not like this really world-ending scenario. It's more about the team and the family aesthetic, and like how far these characters have grown with each other, and it's just a feel-good movie while also having one of the better villains in terms of just like an absolute maniacal maniac, and what he does to like Rocket. It makes you like feel so bad for them. But this movie is just so funny, so good. The action's amazing. Yeah, I really I don't have any negatives. This was one of my favorite movies. Is one of my favorite movies of the MCU. One of my favorite movies of that year. It's just that Guardians 3. Honestly, like I have the debate whether it's better than the first one. So for me, I one day I can just think it's that one. The other day I got the first one. So I love Guardians 3. So I'm going in at the number 1 spot. All right, that's my full post-Endgame list. Let me know below in the comments what yours are. Again, hoping people got a totally different list. Would love to discuss it. But yeah, for now, that is my list. We are working on a massive, massive full MCU ranking that's going to be not only including movies, possibly even all the shows and the specials, and bringing in different people and their opinions, and seeing where we place a final cumulative. I can't even pronounce at this point. We're like, I don't know, an hour deep in this thing. I don't even know where we're at. But yeah, if you made it this long, appreciate it. Would appreciate a like, comment, subscribe. But as always, thank you for everything. Thank you for listening. See you guys at the movies.